right, very good. Welcome, everyone. Alice, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Alderman Petracos, Alderman Campadona,
Here.
Alderman Gilugly,
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Deskin,
Here.
Alderman Vandermeer,
Here.
Alderman Peretta,
Here.
Alderman Bartleson,
Here.
Alderwoman Patterson.
It's okay.
7 present, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, tonight's a special night, as you can see. Before we start tonight with swearing in some of our new officers for new positions, I just wanted to say a few words. I mean, it's no secret that police departments today are under an extraordinary amount of pressure. All you need to do is turn the television on, and you can see all the anxiety that's created from mistrust between some of the communities and some of the citizens and the police that are there. And while, you know, not all communities are suffering from that, I can tell you that all officers are feeling the weight of that mistrust that's out there. And it's hard to come in every day and put the uniform on. When Terry came on board 2 years ago as police chief, I asked him very clearly to build a community-oriented department. And that's a challenge today because we're no longer a 5,000-person hamlet. We are a 25,000-person city. So it took some new challenges to make that happen. And Terry, along with the officers from the department, did an extraordinary job in those couple years, making some of those changes and adapting. Anything from expanding the chaplain corps, which helps create liaisons between citizens and the police department, to starting Lockport Love, which has been a magnificent charitable organization that the department has gotten behind, and it helps the folks in our city who are most vulnerable. So those sort of outreaches are tremendous, and they help build the trust. We are being proactive. You're being proactive, and I thank you for that. We're not forming a blue ribbon committee after an incident to try to find out how we can build trust. You guys have been doing it, and you've been working hard at that. Some of the other things that have been done to restructure the department has been the creation of the deputy chief position. With that position, it allows more opportunity for officers to fill in ranks that they've earned and use their talents. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that Chief saw to restructure that, and I think it's good for the department too to be able to find ways that they can move into new positions and serve better. So before we went in, I just wanted to say thank you for all of your efforts, every one of you. My only regret is we don't have more positions for sergeants and lieutenants and such, because there's many more that deserve to be in those positions at the moment. But thank you very much for all that you do. And before we get started, Jack Miller, our police commissioner, or one of, wanted to say a few words. So Jack, if you want to say a couple things.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, before we introduce the officers to be promoted, I'd like to briefly go through the process by which they were selected and are here before you. Under state statute, each commission has to create an eligibility list for promotions every 3 years. And any vacancies for promotion that occur during those 3 years have to be taken from that eligibility list. The list is created basically through 3 processes. We begin initially with a multi-day third-party vendor written test, written examination, and scenarios and hypothetical situations in order to evaluate the managerial skills and judgment of the applicants for this eligibility list. Each one of those elements is then scored, and that score is sent to the police commission. When a vacancy occurs, the police commission then pulls the commission personnel file as well as the police personnel file, completely reviews that, and then embarks on a series of interviews of management and rank and file officers regarding the applicants. And then the final step is for the police commission, in total, all 3 commissioners, to interview each one of the candidates. These people who have been selected for tonight's promotions went through that process. This is not a beauty contest or a popularity contest or a personal favoritism contest. They're here because they've gone through several different types of evaluations and have come out on top. I think you'll find that over the next couple of years, you'll see the value that these 3 will bring to the police department in terms of professionalism and effectiveness. We're quite pleased with our selection. Thank you.
You know, I had asked Jack to be a commissioner just because he looks like a commissioner. But it turns out he really knows what he's doing, too. So thanks, Jack. Well, if we can have the officers who are being promoted, if they can come up today. We have Ron Huff, we have Officer Azizi, Officer Harang. All right, we're going to do the big swearing in. So here's the oath of office. We can all raise our right hands. Please, Rob, so you guys can be, memorialized forever. All right. I state your name.
I, Ron Housen,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the rank you are being promoted to.
of the office of the chief.
Say aye, say my name. To the best of my ability.
Best of my ability.
Thanks, gents. Congratulations. Sure. And, a big thank you to the spouses, too, of all the officers. And one of the reasons we asked them to pin the badges on is that we know what a great sacrifice it is, and the late nights and the worry. So thank you, too, for all your service that goes into this. Thank you, sir. Well, all right, my friends, we won't be offended if you all start to file out. This is the boring part. But thank you again for being here. You're welcome to stay and listen to it all, but
Maybe not. Squeezed it too far.
all right, my friends, we have anything for liaisons tonight? Anybody want to chime in?
I don't have anything.
We're all good? We're all caught up? All right, very good. Let's see, the big thing on here tonight is, Ben, you going to talk about the Central Square budget?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of council. CA1 is the Central Square budget. Now that we had approved our budget with the city, Central Square operates this facility with a partnership between the township, the Park District, and the city. The 2016 budget reflects the same amount that we've requested in 2015. That's an $80,000 budget that we combined with $80,000 from both the Park District and the township to run the operations here at the building and the grounds. We don't have any other changes at this time, so we're just seeking approval to go ahead and issue them the money for 2016.
All right, anybody have any concerns about it?
Consent?
All right, yep, we're good with the consent agenda?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Amy, you talking about Heritage Crossing?
All right. My first item on the agenda tonight is the Heritage Crossing Corporate Center Letter of Credit Reduction Request Number 1. At the beginning of this project, ML Realty posted a bond in the amount of almost $1.6 million. The outstanding items right now include landscaping that needs to be installed along 147th Street at an estimated cost of $41,635. We also have to keep the 10% of the letter of credit that was posted that we will retain for the maintenance period. We are still waiting on some televising reports, so I am not requesting that this be put on a consent agenda. Just bringing this to committee of the whole to get it in front of you so you can take a look at it, because we will be bringing it back to city council for approval, provided that they do get all of those televising reports into us. If for some reason they don't get all of the required documentation to us and it hasn't been reviewed in time, we'll just table it until they do.
Okay. Very good. Any questions for Amy?
Okay. My second item on the agenda is, I can get it to come up. Yeah, the well-
Computers.
I'm sorry, it's not,
And if I could just chime in here, we did add this to the agenda on Monday. We sent an email out with separate documents, and I provided a hard copy to all you this evening. And Amy, if you need an extra hard copy, I've got one.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. We recently held a second bid opening for the redrilling of well 14, formerly well number 9. If you all recall, we had a bid opening earlier this year for the well number 9 iron filtration project, and in the process of awarding the bids, the well collapsed, and we were faced with the task of deciding what to do with the well, since it was no longer a viable well, and we decided that our best option was to re-drill the well in the same location. We went to bid about a month ago, and we got 2 bids at our first bid opening. The low bid was from Great Lakes, and immediately after getting the low bid, they submitted a letter stating that the bid prices that they got from their subcontractor was bad, and that they would not be able to perform the contract duties for the amount that they bid us, and they requested that they withdraw their bid. The second to the lowest bidder was Lane Christensen, and they had also sent us a letter saying that they would not be able to complete the contract items at the time limit that we had specified. So what we decided to do was to reject all of bids and rebid the project and extend the completion date out so that we had a better time frame for the contractors to complete the project in, which also pushed it into 2016. The second bid opening, we got, again, 2 bids. The original low bidder did not rebid it the second time, but we got a new bid from a company called Waterwell Solutions, who is now the low bidder. So we will be bringing this back, well, we don't have to bring it back. Yeah, we'll be bringing it back to City Council to approve the award of the contract for the Well 14 construction project to Waterwell Solutions, up to the amount of $524,760. We also are bringing a contract for Strand Associates to perform the construction inspection, and the proposal that they submitted to us for construction inspection for this project is $38,250.
So is this for, in 2 weeks, you want us to vote on this, or is this something you'll be bringing us back in?
This is on committee of the whole, so we're not voting on it tonight.
I
It can
understand
either
that.
be put on the consent agenda, one or both of the
Okay.
contracts, because we have 2 separate resolutions, one for the award of the contract and one for the award of the agreement amendment for Strand to perform the construction inspection. So we can either put them both on the consent agenda, or one or the other on the consent agenda, or we could just bring them both back for for approval at the next city council meeting.
Okay, understood. Do you guys, Woody, first off, do you have any questions, concerns?
I have a question, Amy. Could you explain a little bit, in regards to redrilling, are you actually redrilling the water, or the well that's there now, or you're moving it to a different location on that site? Redrilling the well?
It is at a different location, correct? It's not, we're not drilling in the same exact hole.
Okay.
It's going to be a different location.
So we have to
But it's on the
build-
site.
We'll have to build a new building for that too, is that correct, or no? No? Okay.
We actually do it within the same footprint of the building then?
It's usually just
Chris.
outside the building, they pipe it in.
Okay.
The new well is about 25 feet away from the existing building.
Okay.
Piping will be routed into the existing building and back out.
Okay, I didn't know if we moved the building or not, I guess I meant to ask you that earlier.
And all the existing electrical switchgear will remain. We might have to replace the starter for the well, but all the existing building and equipment will be reused.
Would this well be unique to anything else we have, or is it, we have other ones like that too, where it's outside and they pump into the building?
Yes, you have other ones like that as well. This is similar to what happened with well 7 was replaced with well 13 several years ago. Same type of thing, where 7 was in the well house, well 13 was drilled outside of the well house to replace well 7. So you have similar situations, and it's a similar well.
Sure. Every time the EPA lets us do a new well, they assign a new number, even though it's the same site and location. So there's some confusion when we're talking about well 9 and well 14. It's really, for our standards, it's the same well, but
All right. Anything else?
I'll ask one more. I don't have the line items in front of me for the first bid, but what was the big difference from the 351 that the guy rejected and pulled his bid to the 497 that is currently the low bid?
The primary discrepancy in the primary discrepancy between the low bid from the first bid, the 351, and essentially both of the second low bidder in the first bid and the low bidder in the second bid were around that $500,000 mark. The key one item was all that work associated with the water main piping from the well to connect into the system, the chemical piping coming in and out of the well house, and the electrical coming out of the well house. So it was essentially the well driller's sub-consultant that was, a subcontractor rather, that was doing all of that work. That number was the primary $150,000 difference in that.
I think
Is that what the
one
question was?
one of the ones, well, I think what he's wanting to know is what's the difference between the high bid, I guess Lane's bid on the first bid opening to the low bid on this one,
Oh,
on the second one.
Well, I'll ask that one too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
the
roughly
second bidder,
$1,800 difference between.
Yeah, it was very little.
Water Well Solutions, the second bid, low bidder was about $1,800 less than the first bid's second low bidder, if you can follow.
so the second bidder bid it at the same job, basically. It was a big mistake by the first low bidder.
Correct, clearly.
Okay.
Oversight.
All right. Feel good?
I feel good.
All right, you guys want to do a consent for both these items, or do you guys want to vote on them specific? Consent is okay? We'll do consent. All right. Well, that was easy. Any new business?
Only thing I wanted to say is our thoughts and prayers are with San Bernardino, California, with that horrific shooting and deaths. So our thoughts and prayers with all those folks out over there.
It's a crazy world, my friend. Okay. If there's nothing else, then any open floor comments out there? All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion?
Second.
Alderwoman Bartleson, seconded by Alderman Vandermeer. All in favor?
Aye.
Tommy, do we have to officially wait till 7:30?
We do not, no.
Okay. All right. We'll roll along. Alice, why don't you do another roll call, please?
Alderwoman Bartleson? Alderman Perretta?
Here.
Alderman Vandermeer?
Here.
Alderman Justin?
Here.
Alderman Smith?
Here?
Alderman Galogly?
Here.
Alderman Capadona?
Here.
And Alderman Petrakos is absent. 7 present.
All right, thank you. All right, First up is looking to have a motion for a consent agenda.
That motion?
Second.
Alderman Peretta, seconded by Alderman Capadona. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, tonight's consent agenda is approval of the regular city council meeting minutes from November 18th, the committee of the whole meeting minutes of November 18th, our payroll ending November 22nd, approval of various bills, fire alarm and sprinkler system incentive program with the Lockport Fire District, resolution number 15088, an intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois State Tollway Highway Authority and the city of Lockport regarding some of the parcels. And then there was the property casualty resolution 15087 for workers' compensation. And lastly, we had Panatone and Alston Construction Corporate Center subdivision bond reduction. So I'm looking to have a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Alderman Smith, seconded by Alderman Bartleson. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Alderman Capadona,
Yes.
Gallogley,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Deskin,
Yes.
Vandermeer,
Yes.
Coretta,
Yes.
and Bartleson.
Yes.
7 yeas, motion carried.
Well, Lisa, it looks like you're going solo.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The levy that is in your packets was for $5,847,000. It remains unchanged from the levy that I presented to you guys a few weeks ago. That levy was prepared with an increase in EAV of $41 million, and after 5 years of decreases, we're happy to say we finally had an increase. New property of $5.2 million, which then brought our tax rate down by approximately 5%. That would lead a house with a $250,000 value last year to have a decrease in their tax bill of about $16.80 for the city's portion. $150,000 house valued last year would be an $8.83 decrease. These are still preliminary numbers. We will not have final numbers until the spring. So we're asking you to vote on this levy that has to be presented to the county by December 22nd, based on these numbers that I have presented.
Very good. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Alderman Vandermeer, seconded by Alderman Deskin. Any discussion? All right, all sounds good. Can I have all yeas? I forget what that, like suddenly had a blank.
Oh, roll call.
Yeah, we'll do a roll call, thanks. My brain shut off. man.
Capadona,
Yes.
Gallogley,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Deskin,
Yes.
Vandermeer,
Yes.
Coretta,
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
7 yeas, motion carried.
Oh, is that it?
All right. Again, any new business? Anything new? All right, boy, this is pretty, my goodness, I think it's the fastest meeting ever. All right, well, I think next time we'll have a little bit
We have-
more.
We have quite a bit brewing for the next meeting, yes.
Yeah,
We got off
so
easy
brace
tonight, but
yourselves,
we'll
go
make
home
it
and
up
rest
for
up.
next week.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, then I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, Gallogley and Capadona, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, wow.
That's like,
Is it a record?
I know, right?
Wow. This is
Yeah.
funny.
it's my son sending me a picture of it.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you call the mayor tomorrow?